In the last sessions, we discussed that microsporogenesis and megasporogenesis. So from these two events from which the microsporogenesis, the male gametes are produced are microspores. Male gametes are pollen grains, and through the megasporogenesis the female gametes are female gametophyte, which is called embryo sac. So after formation of these two gametophytes, male gametophyte and female gametophyte, so the next process we are discussing it is pollination. Pollination. Pollination is a process by which the transfer of, it is a transfer of pollen grains from the anther. So pollen grains are formed in the anther. So from the anther to the stigma. This process is known as pollination. Pollination is a process by which the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma is known as pollination. This pollination is different types of pollination. Basically the pollination, so how the pollination takes place? On that basis the pollination is of two types. One is self-pollination and the second one is cross-pollination. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is also known as autogamy, and cross-pollination is known as allogamy. Self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is known as autogamy, cross-pollination is known as allogamy, and the self-pollination again is of different types. So how the self-pollination takes place? Self-pollination takes place, that means transfer of pollen grains takes place between the flowers of same plant or between the flowers of pollen grains are transferred from the anther, between anther and stigma of the same flower. Self-pollination is defined as the transfer of pollen grains takes place between anther and stigma of the same flower. So here conditions. When it is possible, when the flower is bisexual. So bisexuality. That means bisexual means the flower contains both male and female reproductive units. So in that, if the flower contains the anther and stigma, then the pollination takes place between the two anther and stigma of the same flower. So male and female female. And second one, homogamy. Homogamy. Homogamy means the anther and stigma mature at the same time. Anther and stigma mature at the same time. Mean when the anther and stigma mature at the same time, then there is a chance of pollination between the anther and stigma of the same flower. And next one is cleistogamy. Cleistogamy. Cleistogamy means the flowers remain closed, then never open. So flowers remain closed. Flowers never open. So in this situation, because for the cross pollination, flowers should be open, but for the self pollination, the anther and stigma of the same flower, so there is no need of opening of flower. So the flowers remain closed. When the flowers remain closed, within the flower, the anther and the stigma, they contact with each other for the pollination. And the next one is bud pollination. Bud pollination. Pollination occurs in bud stage. So that means the flower do not mature in this situation. Only during bud stage only the pollination occurs. During bud stage, the pollination occurs. So these are the events in self-pollination. Self-pollination or autogamy is of different types. These are the conditions for the self-pollination. Bisexuality. The flower contains both male and female reproductive units. Homogamy means anther and stigma mature at the same time. Cleistogamy, flowers remain closed, it never opens. Bud pollination, pollination occurs at the bud stage of the flower. And the next type is cross pollination. Or allogamy. Cross pollination or allogamy. This is the transfer of pollen grains between the two flowers of the same plant or between two different plants of the same species. It is a transfer of pollen grains between two different flowers of the same plant. Two different flowers of the same plant or two flowers of the two different plants of the same species. It is known as cross pollination. Cross pollination is a transfer of pollen grains between two different flowers of the same plant. So it is genetically and ecologically same plant. But two flowers of the two different plants, genetically, ecologically, or genetically it is different but ecologically it is same plant. So between these two in these situations, if the pollination occurs, that pollination is known as cross pollination or allogamy. So here in the first situation, the the two different flowers of the same plant. So if a plant contains two flowers, here between these two flowers of the same plant, it is known as genetogamy. So here cross pollination is again of two types. Cross pollination is two types again. So the first one is genetogamy. Genetogamy is a transfer of pollen grains or pollination occurs to different flowers of the same plant. Here pollination occurs within the same plant, but flowers are different. So if the plant contains 2 or 3 flowers, between that flowers the pollination takes place. So that is called genetogamy. And the second type is xenogamy. Xenogamy. And this is the pollination occur between the two different flowers of the two different plants. So here the two plants, between these two plants, the pollination occurs. It is not a same plant, or genetically or ecologically it is different plant. So this type of pollination is called xenogamy. So these two are important to remember. Genetogamy is a transfer of pollen grains between two different flowers of the same plant. So this is very important to remember. Two different flowers of the same plant. And xenogamy is the transfer of pollen grains between two different flowers of the two different plants. So here plants are also different. So this type of pollination is called cross pollination. And what are the devices taking part in this cross pollination is one is unisexuality. Unisexuality. Unisexuality means the flowers may contain either male reproductive unit or female reproductive unit. Only one reproductive unit is present in the flowers, either male or female. So then there is a chance of the occurring of cross pollination, because for self pollination here no chance. Only one type of reproductive unit is present. And another one is heterogamy. Heterogamy. Heterogamy means anthers, and if it is a bisexual plant or bisexual flower, if it is a bisexual flower, anther and stigma mature at different times. So anther and stigma mature at different times. So for example, if the anther get matured first, that condition is called protandry. Protandry. So protandry means anther matured first, then after some period of time the stigma get matured. So this is anther matures first. And protogyny. Protogyny means stigma matured first and and later after some period of time the anther matured. So here protandry. Andry means andrecium. Andrecium get matured first time. Proto first. Andrecium matured. And gynecium. Protogyny. Gynecium get matured first. So here stigma or gynecium matured first. So here in this condition there is a chance of the taking place of this cross pollination. So one is unisexuality, male and female reproductive units are different, and heterogamy. If it is a bisexual flower, anther and stigma matured at different times, and if anther get matured first, that condition is called protandry. If stigma get matured first, that condition is called protogyny. So these are the different types of cross pollination devices. And in this cross pollination, what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages? So first we will see the advantages. Advantages of cross pollination. The first advantage is here the cross pollination is between, even it is between two different plants. So here if the pollination occurs to different plants, then there is a chance of recombinations. Recombinations takes place. Because two different plants are involved in this case. So recombinations takes place. And if any disease is present in the parental plants, so if any disease characters may eliminate it from the plants, may eliminate. And in the offsprings may obtain variations. So here disease characters may eliminate, and instead of these disease characters it may chance of replacing of the desirable character, or any wanted character may exist in the offsprings, or offsprings may obtain variations. So here variations, because of the participating of two different plants, the variations occur in the offsprings. So these are the advantages. One is recombinations, which may leads to the production of or producing of hybrids. And disease characters may eliminate and it is replaced by the desirable characters. And offsprings may obtain variations which leads to the new varieties of the plants. And what are the disadvantages? Disadvantages is first one, here cross pollination means from one flower to other flower or from one plant to other plant. While carrying these pollen grains, there is a loss of pollen grains. There is a chance of losing of pollen grains. So the number of pollen grains which are produced by the male flower should be more. So it is a random number of pollen grains should be produced. And another one is sometimes while deleting the diseasable character or any unwanted character, here very good character may also lose. Very good character. So while recombinating two plants, in which if the very good character is present in that, so that may also lost from this. Very good character may also eliminate. So we can't say only the desirable characters exist in the offspring. There is no chance for that. So because it is a natural pollination, and when the pollination occurs naturally, then we can't say only the desirable characters exist in the offspring. So very good characters may also eliminate along with the diseaser characters. And another disadvantage is here the medium. So medium, here medium is are vectors for the pollination. Sometimes it may fail to transfer the pollen grains of the one species to another species. There is a chance of incompatibility. It is known as incompatibility. So incompatibility means either, for example, insects transfer the pollen grains from flower to flower or from one plant to other plant. But here, while carrying that pollen grains, it may not the transfer of pollen grains of that species to the same species. It may differ. It may transfer to the different species. So in that cases, the pollen grains cannot germinate on the different stigma. So for example, if you will take hibiscus and rose plant. So here hibiscus pollen grains should be transferred to the hibiscus only. But if the insect transfer these pollen grains from hibiscus to the rose, so it does not germinate. Pollen grains does not germinate on the rose. So these are the disadvantages of the cross pollination. And the next one is the pollen pistil answer. The types of pollinations. Types of pollinations. Here on the basis of medium by which the pollen grains are transferred. See, if the pollen grains are transferred by wind or by water or by insects or by birds. So there are different devices are present to carry the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. So in that, the first one is anemophily. 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 It is the process of pollen grains or transfer of pollen grains by wind. By wind. So here wind carries the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. And the characters of flowers are pollen grains. How the flowers and pollen grains are present if it is transferred by anemophily. The flowers are odorless and bright, or sometimes it is colorless, and pollen grains are lightweight, and it contains feathers. The pollen grains may contain feathers or wings. Pollen grains are lightweight, so then only they can transfer by wind, and there are feathers and wings. So in some cases it contains wings also. And the stigma is sticky in nature to receive the pollen grains, and Pollen grains are powder. It's a powdery. Then it carries easily by wind. So these are the characters. Flowers is odorless and colorless, and in some cases it is bright. And pollen grains are light in weight, feathers having feathers and wings. The stigma is sticky and powdery. And the next type of pollination is hydrophily. Hydrophily. The transfer of pollen grains occurred by water. By water. So here also the flowers are odorless and colorless. Odorless and colorless. Then the pollen grains are, it may having some weight, or it float on water. Float on water. Then stigma is sticky and unwettable. Unwettable or dry. Hydrophily, again it is of two types. One is epihydrophily. Epihydrophily and hypohydrophily. Epihydrophily is the pollination occurred on the surface of the water. It is on surface of water. Hypohydrophily is inside water. Pollination occurs inside water. Epihydrophily is on surface of water, and it is a pollen grains are very light. And hypohydrophily, these pollen grains are sink into the water. So in that the pollination occurs. And another type of pollination is engemophily. Third type, entomophily. It is by insects. Pollination occurred by insects. So here insects transfers the pollen grains from anther to the stigma. And here the flowers are colorful or bright and odor. That means it gives aroma to attract the insects. So these and flowers contains full of nectar. Actually, this nectar is the main source for the insects to pollinate. And the stigma is wet and sticky due to the presence of pollen kit. So here in this type of pollen grains, the pollen kit is present. And the flowers are, it may be blue or purple, yellow, violet. So these colored flowers attracts the insects like bees, like honey bees. So flowers which are in blue color or purple color or yellow color or violet. So these colored flowers attracts bees, and red color, reddish flowers attracts butterflies and wasps. Butterflies and wasps. The flowers which are in red color, they attract butterflies and wasps. So these are the insects which participates in the process of pollination. So by insects, it is known as entomophily. In the entomophily, the flowers are bright, that means petals are in bright color, and border which gives aroma, and nectar full. The flowers contain a large amount of nectar, and the stigma is wet and sticky due to the presence of pollen kit. And if the flowers are blue or purple or yellow or violet, they attract bees like honey bees. And reddish flowers attracts butterflies and wasps. And the next one is ornithophily. Ornithophily is a pollination by birds. If the birds transfers the pollen grains from anther to the stigma, it is known as ornithophily. So here the flowers are again bright and border and nectar, having nectarful flowers, and the stigma are anthers and the stigma are lengthy. So this length of the stigma and anthers is out of the flower. So it is very long stigma and anthers. Length of the stigma as well as anther is more in this ornithophilic flowers. So these are the different types of pollination by which the pollen grains are transferred. So one is anemophily by wind. If the pollination occurred by wind, it is known as anemophily. And second type is hydrophily by water. And the third one is entomophily by insects. And ornithophily by birds. And another type of pollination is also there, which is a very rare cases. It is myrmecophily. Myrmecophily is the pollination occurred by ants. So here the pollen grains having sugar substances, so which attracts the ants. Pollen grains having sugar substances which attracts the ants. So here the pollination occurred by ants, that is known as myrmecophily. And the plants in which pollination occurred by ants is known as myrmecophytes. Pollination, these are the plants in which pollination occurred by ants. And ornithophytes, these are the plants in which the pollination occurred by birds. So like this, anemophytes the plants in which pollination occurred by wind. Hydrophytes. So here the pollination occurred by water. Entomophytes, the plants in which pollination occurred by insects. So these are the different types of agents by which the pollination or pollen grains transfer from anther to the stigma. Pollen pistil interaction. So once the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma, and here we know that the stigma, within the stigma the further development of the pollen grain takes place. So here if the this is the stigma, a style, then ovary. So here now the pollen grains are transferred to the stigma. And this is the pollen grain which now is present in the stigma. So here when it enters into the stigma, this exine get degenerate. Outer layer of the pollen grain get degenerates. So after that, and here it is known as this pollen grain, now it consists of two types of cells. One is generative cell and another one is tube cell. Tube cell. This generative cell or tube cell get degenerate, and this in time develops into the pollen tube. So this is the pollen tube. And now generative cell get divides and it produces two male gametes. So it produces two male gametes. So here two spawns are present in this. And these two spawns are carried to the tip of the pollen grain. So now this is the structure within the stigma. So one is, this is the generative cell divides into two nuclei or two male gametes, and these two male gametes are transferred to the or moves towards the tip of the pollen tube, and the entire structure now passes through the style. So passes through the style and reaches ovary. And here we know that in the ovule, inside the ovule, the embryo sac is present. Embryo sac. So now only we will take that embryo sac, and at this side it contains three antipodals, and in the center it contains polar nuclei, and here it contains two synergids and one egg cell. This is the egg cell, and this is the callosal end. It is micropyle end. Now this pollen tube which is having two male gametes. Now it reaches to the embryo sac. So how it reaches to the embryo sac? So that is pollen pistil interaction. See, for example, it should be get incorporated into the embryo sac. So if it is incorporated through the micropyle, so through this micropyle, if it enters into the embryo sac, that is called spory or porogamy. Porogamy is the enter of pollen tube through the micropyle. And another one is chalazogamy. Pollen tube enters into the embryo sac through the callosal end. So through the callosal end, if the pollen tube enters, then that is called chalazogamy. And another one is the integumogamy. Through the integuments. So here it contains the integuments, and if the pollen tube enters through that integuments, so it is called integumogamy. So these are the different types of entries of the pollen tube into the embryo sac. Porogamy through micropyle, chalazogamy through callosal, and integumogamy through the integuments. So this is the pollen pistil interaction. So in the next session we will discuss with the fertilization.